Hey there, LEGO Marvel's CMF Series 2 was revealed and releases over the next few months. I got some thoughts and I wanted to share my opinions on those. If you enjoyed this news video, liking and subscribing does help to support this channel. So I'll go over the figures themselves first before I rant about the boxes. There are timestamps down below for those who want to skip around. I'll say right off the bat, this is a huge improvement from that first line of figures. The characters here are a lot more vibrant, though the colors are a little bit darker on some of them. I wouldn't say that it's a brighter series overall like the Disney ones, but the characters that are included feel like they target everyone on their own personal levels. I am absolutely in love with 3 of these inclusions specifically. Total bias, the series could have been total crap, but as long as these 3 figures were included, I was always going to praise this. All of these figures look immaculately detailed, which you have to keep in mind they wouldn't look anything like this if they were released in sets. Look at the Captain Carter comparison for proof of this. These are the absolute best versions of these characters that we will ever get. We'll start with Moon Knight, who saw his fair share of customs over the past year due to the popularity of that show. Oscar Isaac now gets to climb his way up the ranks of LEGO minifigures with his likeness. I really love that minifigure. He uses a really cool new hood piece. I think we all unanimously thought that they would eventually use that Archer hood, but it's actually something really fresh. Importantly, that hood has a really sharp curve at the front, so I will be taking this for some Ezio and Altair customs, and I promise you will be seeing a lot of these customs on the internet once this figure releases. He has detailed printing on his arms, legs, and dual molding as well. He's one of the greats here. He includes the scarab as an accessory and his moonblade crescent. I wish he had an alternate head or maybe a reversible face print for Oscar Isaac though. But the next figure is Mr. Knight, the second personality of Moon Knight from the show. He's just as detailed as Moon Knight but in a different sense. He features minimalist printing that is very useful ever since I started doing more custom minifigures. That white suit is a gold standard for me. He has the 2 Daredevil batons and a printed fish tank piece with Gus the fish swimming around. Really nice. Echo is a figure based on a character that I have very little interest in. She appeared in Hawkeye, but she's also getting her own TV show later this year, maybe? She's a bit of a strange inclusion, since she's promoting something that isn't out yet, but she's not a total anomaly though. There's a good few figures here who haven't seen their projects released yet, but I think that this figure is neat overall. She's got an amazing looking hairpiece that I can't wait to see in person. I don't know what that accessory is, and the outfit I think is new as well. She's a cool teaser for something that comes out later, but there are characters that I would have preferred over her inclusion. But Echo is a pretty good lead into the 2 Hawkeyes that are included in the set. Last series we had a couple of different variants of a Captain America, and here we have multiple Hawkeyes. Clint Barton here is included. It's his first time appearance of Jeremy Renner wearing a comic accurate-ish outfit. He looks really good. LEGO have always made weird Hawkeye minifigures in my opinion, always just throwing something together and hoping that it works, and for me, it's literally never worked. This is the first time that I am satisfied with a Jeremy Renner appearance in LEGO. His hairpiece is not a new piece, but it does work perfectly. I believe he has a new bow and arrow piece, which Kate Bishop also uses but in a different color. I love this piece more than the usual tactical bow piece, I think. He does not have any leg printing though, which is a shame, especially given that he's one of the OG Avenger characters here, so you'd think he'd get a bit more coverage, but whatever. He also includes a baby owl as an accessory. Kate Bishop was really high up there on my want list, and she looks pretty good. She uses one of my favorite ever LEGO hairpieces, all in black, and actually has some leg printing as well, so she's probably immediately better than the Clint Barton figure. She includes the same bow and arrow piece and a pizza box, which is neat, but she also has Lucky the dog, which is amazing when LEGO give us animals as extras in CMFs like this, especially when they're genuine character inclusions. That was my highlight of the first wave. Agatha is also included, and I believe is supposed to be tying into her new show that's releasing, but this appearance is from her WandaVision appearances. She's the only sole, quote, catch-up type figure, where I think her appearance is supposed to complement the WandaVision characters from the previous wave more than it's supposed to represent her own show coming out. And I actually like this figure quite a bit. Originally, I thought that this was a wasted slot, but she has some really nice parts usage. The winking face is very on brand for Kathryn Hahn. Her appearance here reminds me of a Disney princess villain. She includes the Power Blast piece, but also has the Dark Holder as an accessory. That's a really cool inclusion. Goliath here is the only character that is based on What If. It's kinda weird. The biggest positive that I have for this is that it should be a Lawrence Fishburne minifigure likeness head underneath the helmet, because he does have an extra hairpiece. I've wanted a Lawrence Fishburne minifigure for years now for one very specific custom figure. As a movie fan, it's very important to me that I get this right. LEGO don't currently have a head that could fit Morpheus. I just don't really care for the inclusion overall though as a character, so my desire for this minifigure is literally based solely on my love for the Matrix, and because of that, I don't think I can really say that this is a good inclusion, at least for me. This figure is amazing. We have a Jack Russell minifigure from Werewolf by Night. I truly believe that he may be one of the greatest things that has ever come from the LEGO brand, honestly. LEGO genuinely decided to take a minifigure from an R-rated property and put it in a set targeted towards kids. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This means the absolute world to me. I loved Werewolf by Night when it released, and I really love Gael a lot as well, so this figure jumps up nearly to the very top of my desired figures. He includes the Bloodstone, but that's all for his accessories. His lack of accessories doesn't really bother me that much. My only gripe, yeah, I do kind of wish he was in black and white. I'd love to know the decision as to why he appears in color and not accurate to the actual material. Of all of the figures, She-Hulk was actually at the very top of my wanted list of the Disney Plus characters. I really loved her design from the show so much, and I was disappointed to see that it was actually rarely used throughout the show. But she did look amazing in that costume. I would have even loved to have seen her in a suit as well, but this is the best version of that character for sure. The original She-Hulk might be one of my favorite minifigures from the superheroes line, so this one does have a lot of pressure on it, but I think she looks fabulous. She includes a cell phone and a document that has Abomination printed on it. That's awesome. Okay. Yes, the X-Men figures are my favorites here, obviously. What I love about these inclusions so much are the new designs and details that make those inclusions feel worth it. Wolverine's inclusion is a little iffy. He was released not too long ago and we were all very thankful of that figure, but if we're completely honest with ourselves, that figure wasn't very good. At the time, I said that supporting that figure meant, in my eyes, that you'd be supporting the brand of X-Men. Lo and behold, we now have more X-Men sets available. This is without a doubt the best version of that figure that he's ever had though. Printing on his arms, printing on his legs, dual molding as well. Great accessories. He includes the Peter Venkman hairpiece, which is a brand new look for him, and he has the head of a Sentinel, which is the exact same piece that was used on the original build of the Sentinel. So you could swap out those heads and have the main build as a battle damage variant. If we do end up getting sets based on X-Men down the line, this is the must-have figure because there's no way they top this. I think he is perfect. Storm is a pretty great figure as well. Her design isn't my personal preference though. I do love the white outfit, which is an iconic look for her, and her face print here is a lot better than her first appearance, but I do prefer the longer head look, so some simple part swappage will be fine. She has a really good, what looks to be a brand new mohawk piece though, and some lightning accessories. That cape that goes over her arms is reused as well, this time in white. And then we have Beast, my favorite character of this line. Finally, a new member to add to my favorite team of superheroes. This just means the world to me. I've wanted Beast ever since the Marvel video game released, and I think that the claws in that game really do add to that design. Unfortunately though, that piece does not exist. He has a new hairpiece that looks amazing. He's got two face prints where he has an angry look, and he's got glasses on. He looks just so good, and he has a little cup with the X-Men logo. Just a treasure of a figure. Overall, it is a strong series of figures, but there are a couple of people missing. There was this dumb rumor that Kang was supposed to be included in the set from Ant-Man Quantumania, and that he was at last minute replaced with Goliath because of some obvious reasons we don't have to get into. This is a really good example of why you shouldn't be listening to rumors over the internet. If we ignore the obvious for a second, which is just how long a production cycle for toys like this takes, and how impossibly difficult it would be for LEGO to change something that drastic and still release this at the right time, why would LEGO make an entire CMF based on Disney Plus Marvel content and give a single slot to the theatrically released character? Like I said, Agatha acts as a complement piece for me for the last series, so these are the characters that I wish we got from the last line. Baron Zemo, someone missing from the Civil War sets. His comic appearance in the TV show of The Falcon Winter Soldier was a highlight. John Walker was probably my favorite part of that show, but I suspect that he'll be seen in some sets later on. Mobius from Loki, this is an obvious one, just for the Owen Wilson likeness alone. Old Loki, who uses a comic-based appearance. Richard E. Grant already did appear in LEGO in Star Wars, so they could have just reused his likeness. Kang, but his appearance from Loki could have been cool. Those colors would have been really nice on a minifigure. The Watcher, honestly, just even a re-release of him would have been fine with me. I didn't get that set. Ultron from What If, I think was on everybody's list of wanted figures. I still really want to see this guy. And Kamala Khan. LEGO intentionally left her out of the series because they knew that this would be a selling item. My girlfriend is very so-so on Marvel as a property, but she loves Miss Marvel, so them putting her in this egregious Marvels set to release later on at the end of the year, good job team, well played. We personally won't be buying this item though. $170?
You serious?
Now comes the part of the video where I think everybody wants to know where everyone stands on this, and that's boxes over bags for the CMFs. I really hate it. I strongly hate it. And hate is a strong word to use, but I genuinely can't see this as anything other than anti-consumer. The reason that we've been given is it's environmentally friendly, and LEGO have even started to cycle out bags in sets for these really neat recyclable bags. They currently are only used on dinosaurs though in the Avatar line, like for really big special pieces. I wonder why that material wasn't chosen instead over boxes. LEGO chose to use boxes for the LEGO Vidiyo CMF line, in which the minifigures still appeared in plastic bags inside once the box was opened anyway, so what's the point? What's going on? These figures all use capes as well, which is usually an indicator for LEGO needing to use a plastic bag or something to separate the figure away so to not damage the cloth goods. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, myself included, hated the idea of mystery items, and we would spend our times filling out the pieces. It actually made CMF purchasing a lot more fun. I gave up on Vidiyo once they were all clearance to less than $2 here because I just kept getting the Cyberpunk character. I didn't even think that regularly spending $2 was worth it on a mystery figure, so why do you think I'll spend $6? Vidiyo boxes every time I went to the store were ripped into and abandoned, which is what will happen here. Scalpers are going to grab entire boxes of these and they'll flip every figure because people want the X-Men, people specifically want Moon Knight, they want to get the She-Hulk figure, and they don't want to waste their time having to grab random figures. So LEGO will make $60 from that scalper's purchase, the scalper will make $120, it's a win-win, right? This has made me so mad because I basically have to assume that it's unlikely I'll ever be able to get the full set, or at least easily. What makes it worse is that I predict that this will blow up in LEGO's face and they'll just go back to bags soon after anyway. But people really want Marvel, they love supporting Marvel, they want the Marvel minifigures, they just didn't want Vidiyo. Either people will desperately buy all of them and LEGO will get the idea that it's worked really well, or consumers will be so desperate for the figures they'll just have a peek at the box and steal them. Either way, it's a lose-lose if you ask me. Those are my overall thoughts on a very strong series of LEGO Marvel figures. I have some minor gripes with, say, color changes for Jack Russell, but I still really like the minifigure. I wish Hawkeye had some leg printing, but I still really like the minifigure. I really don't care for Goliath's inclusion, but I do want to make a Morpheus, so I still like that figure. I am not personally attached to Echo or the idea of an Agatha TV show, but again, I still like those figures. You can see where I'm going with this. Liking and subscribing does help to support this channel, and who knows, maybe I will miraculously be able to get my hands on all of the figures. We'll just have to wait and see.